Hi everyone. Today we are going to see the poem Daddy by Sylvia Plath. This poem is written on 13th October 1962 and initially it was published in BBC along with Lady Lazarus. Later, the same poem was published in the magazine called Encounter in the year 1963. Afterwards, the same poem was published in the volume called Ariel under the title Poems of Sylvia Plath. So, 3 times it was published. Initially, first it was broadcast in BBC, second time in a magazine called Encounter, third time in Ariel volume. So, it was published like this. This Sylvia Plath was born on 1932 and died on 1963 at the age of 30. 30 years she has lived in this world. And she married Ted Hughes, another writer, famous writer, namely Ted Hughes, to whom she married on the year 1956. Okay, 1956 she marries, and 1959 she gets separated from him. So that is also one of the reasons for her frustration. The poem Daddy is considered as the last poem. The poem Daddy deals with the theme father fixation. Her father was a German by nationality and he is one of the great scholars of that time. He is a lecturer of biology and he is a lecturer of German language, and he worked in Boston University during his time. He died in 1942 when Sylvia Plath was 10 years old. After the death of Otto Plath, Sylvia Plath has become so obsessed with death, and she was highly attracted towards death, and he wants to die to join with her father in the heaven. So she wants to go and meet his father again, for which she wants to die. That was her mentality. And during that time she was suffering a lot of frustration and mental illness because of the separation with Ted Hughes and other personal problems. So she wants to get rid of this world and she wants to go back to her father. This is the way how she was behaving at that time. And this poem is dealing with a autobiographical element, and her father is Otto Plath. Sylvia Plath's mom was a Jew and father was a German. So most of the time, many years, the Sylvia Plath has been living with her parents in Germany. In the very beginning of the poem, Sylvia Plath says that she has to remove Otto Plath from her heart. So this father can be taken in 2 ways. The one is her own father, Otto Plath. The another one is Hitler. During Nazi period, Hitler was ruling Germany and he was like a daddy to everybody there. He is the sole one who is able to take all the decisions, and he is the one who is controlling everything in the country. Nobody can question him, nobody can raise anything against him. So he was almost like a father figure, daddy figure in Germany. So Sylvia Plath can call her own father as daddy, otherwise she is calling Hitler as daddy here. So in both ways we can take, because when Sylvia Plath was 10 years old, Hitler is also dying. As a father dies at the age of 10, this Hitler is also dying. There is a correlation. There is a reference of this also. So it can be both. And another thing is Otto Plath. Otto Plath is also died by Francisco fish. There is a grey toe Francisco fish. They are talking like this. There is a term refers like this. Actually, Otto Plath was living in a village called Winthrop, Winthrop. Okay, so Winthrop is the village where he was living. It is situated nearby the sea. Okay, so he was found out with fatal cancer, and he also has a severe diabetics. At one point, one of his legs have been amputated from his body because of this diabetic mellitus. Then, after the amputation of his leg, 3 weeks later, this man drowns into the sea and dies. So, his father is also suffering from the same sort of disease what Hitler was doing. Actually, Sylvia Plath sees a statue of Hitler. In that statue, his toe is made up of Francisco fish. Hitler's toe is referred as Frisco seal, not Francisco seal. It is called as, stamped as Frisco seal. So, like that, his toe was there in the statue. And his head, Hitler's statue's head was raised towards Atlantic, and where this blue water is joined with green water that we can find in Atlantis. That meaning both German and Jews can live a harmonious life after the death of Hitler. That is also a symbolic representation of this thing. Then if you see the poem, there we can find that Hitler has destroyed many villages during the war there. He has destroyed many villages and many Jews. Okay, so the Sylvia Plath talks with one of her Poland friend, and she comes to know that her father had lived in Poland and that village was destroyed by Hitler, and he has stepped about a dozen villages. That meaning he has gone to many villages, and most of the villages of his steps have been touched were destroyed. That is also one of the references given here. Sylvia Plath is afraid of her father's political slang, that is gobbledygoo. Gobbledygoo is a Germanic word that is a political slogan usually uttered by Hitler also. Hitler and her own father Otto Plath quite often used to say the word gobbledygoo. So this word always makes her scared. And she also scared of the blue eyes of her father. Hitler also has the same blue eyes, and the neat moustache that is same to both her father and Hitler. So she is afraid of the moustache and the political slogan as well as the blue eyes. Okay. Then if you see the poem, Hitler hates cross. He hates Christians and Jews. He always wears the symbol swastika in black font. A black font swastika symbol is the one which he likes the most, and he always wears that. Okay, so women, out of fear, they used to worship him. They want to get away from the punishment from him. That's why they pretend as if they like everything that Hitler does. And when the author Sylvia Plath was studying in a school, in blackboard also we can find the picture of Hitler. So Hitler is a very significant figure, and his portrait will be everywhere, even in school. Okay, so this lady Sylvia Plath is afraid and hated the photo or hated the picture statue of this particular person, Hitler. Okay, so when she was 10 years old, that man has died. Hitler was died. Her own father also died. That is one thing. Then at the age of 20, this Sylvia Plath tried to commit suicide. She wants to die. After death, she wants to go back to her father, that may be Hitler, and she wants to take revenge of him. That was her intention, but it was failed. She was not killed. She was saved from her attempt of committing suicide, and she had some burns here and there in the body. Later, at the age of 30, she died. Okay, so the main purpose of her committing suicide is that she wants to go and kill or take revenge her father Hitler. Hitler is the one who was abolishing, who was killing all the Jews. So she wants to go to heaven or hell, wherever, and she wants to kill this particular Hitler. So through death she can go and make it possible. Like that she thinks. Okay. This is what all about the poem. Thank you.